up, guys? It is the Turtle Girl. Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here with Father Carlos, and we're going to be taking a tour of his pet room. As you can see, we got reptiles, we got fish, all kinds of amazing stuff, so you're really going to love this one. So Father, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thanks so much. Yeah, this is Father Carlos. I am a priest for the Archdiocese of Seattle, and I'm happy to have you here in my little animal kingdom. Welcome to my hobby.
All right, let's take a look.
So here we have one guy. He is a coastal caramel carpet python. This comes from the eastern side of Australia. He is in a 4 feet long enclosure, PVC, custom made. One of the things that I really enjoy doing, aside from having the animals, is researching and creating their environment to look as close as possible as they would have it in the wild. And he uses every inch of this space. He really likes to crawl all over.
There's the little sneaky. And what's this one's name again?
Wangai.
Wangai.
Wangai comes from the Gooby language of the natives, which means serpent.
Oh.
So I also like to name most of the animals based on a name that the locals would use.
That makes sense. That's really cool. All right, what do we got down here?
Okay, so this is Amaru. Amaru means wise snake in Quechua. Quechua is one of the native languages in the northern portion of South America, and this is a hypo jungle boa constrictor imperator.
Kind of blending in there. That's really cool.
And once again, the enclosure make it look like a forest floor, just as they would in the South America portions and regions.
Nice. That's really smart that you have those, because I mean, I'm sure that with all of this stuff in, because you guys got to see, in here he has all of these little cards. So when you have this many animals, there's a little sneak peek of what's coming. But when you have this many animals, it's very helpful to remember what you got going on here. So let's go to the bottom.
All right, this here is Jack Daniels. Not exactly a native name, but he came with this name. I got him from a buddy of mine who had him in his school for a long time. Then he retired and wanted to give him a good home. So I got him. He is a bearded dragon from Central Australia. That's where most bearded dragons come from. And I believe he's some kind of morph, but I don't know much about morphs to know exactly which one he is, either a yellow or orange, or a mix thereof.
He's beautiful. He's probably a favorite. Does he like being held a lot?
Oh yes, he's like a little puppy dog.
All right, let's see, what do we got over here?
Okay, so this is my little piece of the Central American forest. This is my custom-made, homemade enclosure with red-eye tree frogs. I have a set of about 8 of them, a mix of males and females. I have been trying to breed these guys for years, and I'm just not successful. There's something that I'm not doing right. The males keep clasping onto the females.
Oh, it's up there. I didn't even see it. There you go.
So I've got a male and a female here, and another male and female pair who are also clasping on, but nothing else happens. And it's a rain chamber. And then they've got a bunch of little guppies that have reproduced at the bottom.
That's awesome. So is this kind of like, I guess it's technically like a paludarium, right?
Yeah.
And so is this to help with the breeding and kind of create that atmosphere, or?
Yeah, so I have a pump that when I turn on, it rains down. So it just creates a trickle throughout various spaces, and then that'll induce the croaking, especially at night. They'll start singing like crazy.
And is this all your own design?
Yeah.
Wow, that is incredible. So is it just like a tubing on the top, or?
It is. It's a pump with tubing, and then I poked some holes in it. As you know, this hobby can get pretty expensive, so you got to find shortcuts.
That is so true.
Shortcuts to do, your own DIY. It works. It looks aesthetically okay.
No, I think it's awesome. And you guys, we are going to do a couple pieces on these DIY enclosures. I don't know if you saw, look at these backgrounds. These are incredible. So we're going to do a separate video going a little bit more in depth on how he put this stuff together, because I'm sure you guys are curious. So make sure you subscribe so that you can see that when it comes out. Hit the notification bell. So this is great.
Down here we have El Chapo. El Chapo is a Sinaloan milksnake, which you have one, Sienna.
Yes.
So I have El Chapo, and this is his enclosure. Again, because of budget, you find enclosures that are used and sometimes even broken. So this one was shattered, and you can completely recreate them. Put some cork bark in and make him a completely new, beautiful functioning habitat.
That is genius. So you just you put the foam stuff on this side,
and that reinforces
to cover up the attic.
But other than that, the main enclosure itself works perfectly. And yeah.
That's awesome. El Chapo was out earlier when we first got here, but I missed getting a shot.
His little face is over by the...
Oh, I see him. He's sticking out of the little plants there. And is that live too?
That is live plant, yeah.
Oh, and all the leaf litter too. Look at this. This is amazing. All right, cool.
This is my 120-gallon Amazon River tank. Well, the Orinoco River. Each of my fish tanks highlight a specific river with most fish that would be found in that river.
So this like a biotope.
Kind of like a biotope. Not true biotope because not all of the items that I have come from that river, but kind of going along with the other enclosures, I try to make it as natural as possible to that region. So I only put fish that would be found within that river from Venezuela.
And what kind of fish do we have going on in here?
So we've got Waru cichlids, festivum cichlids, the striped Raphael catfish, a couple big ones in the bottom, spotted Raphaels, Buenos Aires tetras, pictus cats, four-line cats, blue phantom plecos, clown pleco, whiptail catfish, the striped head standers, which are my favorite fish. They're the largest species of pencil fish. Super awesome. The bushy-nosed pleco, flagtail porthole cats, haplocats. These guys are a trip. You ever seen that movie Ice Age?
Yes.
And the two little possums?
Yes.
So they remind me of those two little possums.
They're so cute.
All over the place. And
check them out.
the tiger severums and a couple of red-eye tetras.
Wow, beautiful. And so are these pieces of wood, did you like collect these, or where did most of the hardscape and
the
stuff
standing
come from?
logs I got them from the local river, and then all the other ones are just driftwood that you would find, Malaysian driftwood.
And then the plants are the Amazon source?
The Amazon source, which take a beating because almost all of these animals are heavy veggie eaters. So I will throw in like a huge head of romaine lettuce, stick it in, and within the day, it'll be stripped down.
Oh, wow, that is awesome. See, guys, I know my plants, I promise. I'm not totally done with plants. Look, we got pothos up here. I'm like, that's pothos, right?
It is pothos.
I don't want to look stupid if I call it something it's not.
This is Whiteout. He is my Black Dragon Half Moon Placat Beta. He's got a couple of tank mates, small little exclamation point Rasbora, so more of a nano tank. I really enjoy this tank. It's crazy algae growth, so every week I have to do a pretty gnarly maintenance, but it's beautiful. And he's really active, so I really enjoy.
Yeah, you've got lots of live plants in here for sure. Look at him. Hey, buddy. And Whiteout, that's definitely a fitting name.
Yeah.
It's a pretty guy. All right.
Okay. And then right below Whiteout, I have my little rack of tarantulas. So I've got my Mexican red knee, Señor Patas, Mr. Legs. Right below him is a smaller Mexican fire leg. Fuego is his name. Fuego means fire. And right below that, we have Urai. Urai is a Costa Rican striped knee tarantula.
Do those types of tarantulas like handling at all, or are they?
Señor Patas is the only ones that will take handling, and he does pretty good. He does pretty well. My viewers
know this, but I am not like the hugest proponent of like little spiders, creepy crawly spiders. But these furry guys are not so bad. You're the first tarantulas to be on here, so that's pretty cool. Look at the colors on the knees too. That's awesome. And so do they mostly just, hide around here? What do you feed them?
So they will go on a diet of mixed. I alternate between crickets, mealworms, and cockroaches, dubia cockroaches. I do that with all the animals. I vary their diet as much as possible. So that's what I do for them.
And I see this up there. Is this like a shed or something? I don't know much about tarantulas, so tell me about it.
That is a molt. So reptiles shed, tarantulas, and a lot of the insects molt. So that would be one of the molts, which when I first put it up there, I kept forgetting.
Oh my gosh.
So it startled me a few times. I was like, oh my God, it got out, which has happened before.
Really? No, how did you find it?
Well, I had this tarantula back in the seminary where we studied to be priests. It's called the seminary. And I would be in and out quickly between classes, and I would feed it, and sometimes I'd forget to put the lid back on.
Oh my gosh.
3 times it got out. Once I found it after a whole day of searching for it. A second time I found it as soon as I realized it was gone. I sat down in the bed and I see it crawling out on the wall. And the third time it was hiding behind one of the bookshelves.
I bet your classmates or whoever was on your floor didn't appreciate that, or did they even know that you had that?
They did not know.
Oh, that's probably...
No, they knew I had them, but they didn't know it escaped.
Yeah, that's probably for the best. That's probably for the best. Oh, and look, there's even a little sea turtle over here.
Yes.
Is this the only turtle you got in the room?
That is the only turtle,
oh,
yes.
Man, you gotta change that, I'm telling you.
I used to have turtles.
Oh, really?
Back in the days. Before seminary, I did. So this is the Peruvian Amazon River tank. It's more of a grow-out tank for the discus. I initially had the pigeon blood discus, which I had when they were tiny, about 3 inches or 2 inches wide. And then a buddy of mine, he relocated, so he gave me his discus. 3 of them were really old, including this guy, so you can see he's really beat up. The other 2 have since passed away. All the other ones are fairly young. And their tank mates are 2 apple snails. And I also have 2 longfin bristlenose plecos that I never see.
These are beautiful. And so you've had these?
I have had these for about 4 months now.
Wow.
Yeah.
You guys know that this is definitely like one of my dream fish that I'd love to keep. They're just, oh, look at how beautiful. The colors and the...
And then eventually these will be upgraded to a 125.
Awesome.
So.
Because this is a...
55.
55. Cool.
55, yeah. These are the axolotls. Axolotls, as you know, are native to a small lake in Mexico City, Lake Xochimilco. These little guys I've had, there's 10 of them in here.
Wow.
And actually, axolotls do well in groups as long as they're the same size. They get used to each other. And when it's feeding time, they don't attack. When they're younger, they tend to attack each other's limbs. Mm-hmm. But when they get to this size, they don't at all. There's actually a group of nuns in Mexico City who breed them. You might have seen a video about them, and scientists go to them to do research, and they keep them in big tanks, large groups as well.
Yeah, maybe I'll link that in the comments for you guys, or in the description, so you can check that out.
Which is really cool. And I have them down here because it keeps the water cold.
Oh, that makes sense.
And the water's a consistent 65 to 67. As soon as it goes over 71, they will get stressed.
And you do have actually some white clouds in here. I know on my channel I actually got some major hate for trying that out in mine. Mine actually ended up getting eaten, but I will say that if you are going to try to keep fish with axolotls, like white clouds totally are one of the better options because they're cold water tolerant and small and fast. So.
White clouds, and eventually I will make a biotope type 75 gallon for them with endlers, which are native to Mexico. So we'll see how that works.
Oh, look at these. And then so you basically just have like your little, are these like reptile caves that you repurposed in here, or?
Yeah, little reptile caves. And there's different types. There's the wild types, there's the GFP, which is the green type. A gold flake, which is my favorite. Hopefully later on he can see him, but he's got like, he looks like he literally is a fossil with little gold flakes.
And you did breed these, right?
Accidentally.
Yeah.
Accidentally.
And so one day did the eggs just show up, and did you have to do anything special, or they kind of just...
I did have to put them separately and then let them hatch, and then, oh man, it's a labor of love. Because you have to hatch brine shrimp almost every day.
Oh, really? Because they're so small.
Because they're so tiny, that's the only thing they will eat, and that's a few months of catching brine shrimp every day.
Well, I don't know, guys. What do you say? Does Mochi need a friend?
I think so. This is my Rio Tapajós or Rio Negro tank. It's another grow-out tank. Eventually, when I get the 125, these two will be combined. And in here, I have a school of 12 Geophagus Tapajós. I'm hoping that they establish, see what the ratios are, and then keep the proper ratio of male and females for that final tank. 2 little angels, along with a Apistogramma orange flash pair. I had a pair of Apistogramma panduro, which actually bred, but because of all the fish, the babies never made it. Cardinal tetras, neon tetras, and then also the sturbi, Corydorus sturbi, and the panda cories, which are a trip.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed them.
They're so small. And so is there a school of them in here and they kind of just derp around?
Yeah, those, because they're smaller, they're much more shy and they like to hide mostly. At night is when the whole school comes out. It's about 10 of them.
I really like just like the structure and the decorations in here. Oh, is this an albino tetra?
That is an albino neon.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And so Anubias, Java fern kind of stuff going around in here?
Anubias and Java fern. And then I got this one from my local river.
Wow, that is a beautiful, beautiful piece. Did you just find it like lying around there? Or did you actually
it was a dry riverbed. And I went looking for things that I could use. I found this one and it worked perfect.
Very cool. Yeah, I love this apistogramma. Look at it. It's so beautiful. So since we've looked at, I think, most of the fish tanks at this point, do you have a favorite of all of your ones here in your room?
Gosh, my Orinoco River. I just, that's when I sit down, you know, I'll sit and I'll get lost for a little while. It's a form of prayer.
Oh, amen.
Amen.
All right, and down here. So he
Okay.
said he didn't have turtles, but he does have this one.
I have this one. This is Zain. So Zain is Arabic, and it means friend or beautiful. I don't know if it's a male or female yet. Usually for sulcatas, you have to wait till they're a little older. So I wanted a name that was kind of uniform. And he is, so I said, a sulcata tortoise or African spurred eye. He's about a year and a half old. Definitely not the best species of tortoise to be kept up this far north, just because it's better to have them outdoors in warmer climates. So if you're going to have one, it's because you really know what you're getting yourself into, and you're going to be providing proper winter indoor care for them. But this is his little grow out tank. Eventually he's going to need a lot more space.
And how old?
He's about a year and a half. A year and a half, and I got him from a buddy of mine who couldn't take care of him, and he began pyramiding, so he's doing fine. He eats a lot.
So cute. I've always thought tortoises are really cool, but I just couldn't commit to the space. Look at him. Hello. Oh my goodness. Look at that. He's so cute. Maybe he'll be scooting around here. And he's got a little aloe vera plant. That's pretty sweet.
He'll make use of the space, and when it's summer, I take him out in the garden every day.
That's so fun. All right, let's move on to this other side because there is still more.
There's more.
There's still more.
Here we have Laki. Laki is a poison dart frog. He's a powder blue type. Laki is Quechua for danger. So they also come from the South American Amazon rainforest. And it's a little mini paludarium. So in the bottom water area, I have a little school of 5 to 6 ember tetras. And they do pretty good. And then above it, I created a little rainforest water feature. All the plants are natural. There's also the cork bark, which is what's holding them in place.
So I'm always curious though, like how does the water feature run? Is it like a pump in there that's installed?
There is a pump in there. If you come to the side, you can actually see the mechanics work. So I divided the tank into three sections: the water area, the biofilter, and then the small pump, which is what is creating the water pressure for the water to go up. I haven't hidden the hose very well, but it does the job.
Wow, look at this. It's like a little slice of nature.
Yeah, yeah.
It's beautiful.
Next to Laki, we have the 2 grow tanks for 2 baby snakes. One is a green tree python. This is a Biak type red neonate. I only had him for about a week. So I'm monitoring him, make sure he ate once, which was great. They have very specific requirements. He's really nippy.
Oh,
He's
really?
super nippy. So whenever I have to clean out his cage, the 2 times that I've done it, I sweat.
Throwing hissy fits.
And even though for a snake this small, the bites don't hurt. I said, nah, it's okay. I don't want to
risk it. So this is a new one. It doesn't have a name yet?
No name yet.
Oh, well,
no
maybe
name yet.
maybe you guys can leave some suggestions.
Yeah.
You know he likes to name them after where they're from. So
they're from, and these come from the Biak Islands north of Indonesia. So if you know of a cool Indonesian word, let me know.
Yeah, put them in the comments. And then next to it?
Next to it is Cuichi. Cuichi is a baby Brazilian rainbow boa. He was born in August 2020, August 22nd to be exact, 2020. He is just a normal type. We can take him out in a little while, but this is his little enclosure. And you can see the difference in humidity requirements, where Cuichi requires high humidity all the time, so his enclosure will always be really misted. Whereas the green tree pythons, they do require humidity, but not as extreme as the ones from South America.
Yeah, I bet it's like a part-time job having all these critters.
When your hobby is something that you love, it doesn't seem like a job. Here we have Monty. Monty is a normal ball python, 15 years old. He was one of the first animals that I got when I moved here to this parish from a parishioner whose son had gone to college, and they had this snake since his son was little. They asked if I could take him, and he became one of my favorite animals, Monty. Super tame, full grown. I mean, snakes keep growing, but ball pythons, they slow down drastically. And his enclosures, I try to make it look as close as possible to what it would look like in the areas of Africa that it's from. And it's functional, it looks aesthetically pleasing. Hope he's happy.
Yeah, look at him hiding back there.
Here we have Adama and Ha'ava. Adama and Ha'ava is where the names Adam and Eve come from. They're actually beautiful names. Adama means from the earth, and that's the name of the male. leopard gecko that I have in here, and Ha'ava means life, where Eve comes from. And that's the female leopard gecko that I have in here. So this is their little enclosure. This is the latest enclosure that I finished building. They have several different hides. They're warm hide, they're pretty moist hide on that side, and they use every inch of this space as well.
So I know that housing leopard geckos together is kind of a controversial thing. So tell me about how like the dynamic between them goes and how they interact.
The individual that I got them from had been housing them together for years, and their temperament is pretty mellow. You know, I figured if they've been together, if I notice that the male is beginning to attack the female, then I would go ahead and separate. But they seem to be doing fine.
Right, and so I actually really love that because, you know, a lot of times, you guys, in the pet community, people get canceled for this kind of stuff. There are people who do it, you just don't always see it. So I think it's really cool that we do have an example.
And
it is possible.
Yeah, and if you provide big enough and enough heights, then that really reduces any type of territoriality that they might have towards each other. Same thing with the axolotls.
And I mean, just look at this. This is beautiful. So this is all a DIY background?
It is a DIY background. It's all foam.
So cool. And so like look at all these little climbing structures in here. And so this is the moist hide you said on this side over here?
Yeah. And they do make use of it, especially when they're getting close to shedding.
Look at this. This is like a palace compared to what Kuzan has. And I thought I was doing pretty good. All right, wait, is this? Oh no, we still have one more. We still have one more. One more.
This is Hazo. Hazo is a female panther chameleon. As you know, they are from Madagascar. She's a 2009, so they require some ventilation. Also, they need running water. People normally have the drippers. I found that too annoying because you constantly had to be putting the water in the dripper, making sure it was always running. So I ended up just poking a hole through the mesh, putting a little pump with a hose, and then you have running water all day, every day. She's great. She eats anything and everything. She loves roaches and mealworms and cockroaches.
Gosh, there she is. She's up here in the corner. Hello. All right, so that is the tour of Father's pet room. I'm so glad you guys could come along, and thank you to Father for having us here. So why don't you tell them where they can find you and check you out?
Yeah, I do mostly photos and videos of my animals. I put those on Instagram at Pets of Carlos. I also have a YouTube channel. I don't do much video because that takes a long time. And with what I do with my life, there's other priorities. But once in a while, you can find some footage there. And just find me on YouTube under Father Carlos, and you'll find me right away. Yes, and I will include all those links in the descriptions. You guys need to check out his Instagram. Literally so many incredible photos. So definitely check that out. If you really enjoyed this video, we are going to be doing another piece on some of the DIY enclosures. So make sure you subscribe so that you can see that when it comes out. Hit the notification bell. Thumbs up for Father Carlos because he is absolutely amazing, and this tour has been so amazing. Let me know what your favorite was in the comments down below, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Have a totally awesome day. Ciao.
Bye.